The biggest mistake you guys do as a high school student is thinking that the math is hard. Hard work equals to waste of time, focusing on grades over the knowledge. These are the three reasons that acts like a huge wall in front of you and your success. You know what? The SAT math questions are actually surfing over the base level of math concepts that you already learned in the entire high school. I don't know how's your journey through the entire high school. You might have a good impression over mathematics or might not be because of this perspective that you had over math or the person who is teaching the math. I don't really know about it, but you can't give an excuse over it because SAT math is designed in such a way to ask you, do you know the surface level, the basics of all the math concepts that exist through the entire high school? If that doesn't really make sense to you, then you can't able to learn all the metrics so that you can confidentially go through the SAD math journey and only to panic, only to mess up with the same kind of pattern, but only to realize that you've done a huge mistake by thinking that what you learned is applied to the new type of problem. SAT math questions are brilliantly designed. After solving endless practice problems, I realized that every time a question is being created, the question looks really complicated, but the moment you start to understand the concepts, the formulation, the understanding will derive it into the basic level of solution. Like literally, they're not going to ask you to find the slope, they're going to ask you, what is slope? The question will be formed in such a way that this might look difficult, lengthy, but the solutions are always at the base level. And coming back to the Desmos, Desmos is a beautiful thing. And over Desmos, you should not depend. Desmos tricks are fine, but you just need to learn them like a set of instructions to solve the math that you understood over the question. You need to show that genuine understanding and genuine engagement over each question that you create with your own understanding makes this math flow through the entire test. And trust me, if you're memorizing all the tricks for SAD math only to forget them the moment you see a new problem, that's a dangerous place to be at because you see, you might know some portion of maths right now, but memorizing the tricks, you're gonna completely brainwash yourself to I need to make use of the tricks to go through this SAT math problem. Then, when you see something totally new, which is out of the concept, out of the tricks that you learned, there is 100% chance of forgetting all the information that you already know about what you learned as a memorizing trick for SAT math. Trust me, as a math student, I used to feel the same way. I was not really that poor at mathematics, but I'm not a topper. But the moment math started to make sense in a practical sense, I meant in a practical sense, everything started to totally make sense. And you can go through the YouTube. There exists a plenty of videos. There exists a free resources. And when I say do the practice, come from the beginning, learn the no, I'm not here to say that go through the entire high school for it. I know it's like just ask ChatGPT anywhere, anywhere, like any concept. Just ask what does this concept do in real life and how it does. Once you get that practical understanding, that overview, you can literally match your experience about oh this logic works like this because you already have the experience, the speed, the slope, everything we do in mathematics has has some theory to say, and we already gone through that with our own experiences. When you relate your experience with your understanding level, then math really makes sense more than what you can actually imagine. Trust me. For SAE math, you just need to go through the concept first. Once you go through the concept, understand the formulation, and later, genuine engagement over the questions. Go through the practice problems. If you give it a try, like at least 2 hours once in a 2 days. If you give it a try to go for 2 hours once in a 2 days, that's more than enough. In the beginning, you feel like you're crawling through the practice problems, but the moment you see the pattern being repeated, the types of questions being asking the same type of formulation or the solution that you're doing, then you're gonna get that hints, the words and everything. It might require around 2 to 3 months of practice to crawl through the subject and later get back to Desmos. Once you know the theory, once you have the foundation so strong, then Desmos exists to fuel up that thing. When you're totally depending on the tricks, that's not a bad thing for the topper. not for someone who doesn't really good at mathematics but are totally depending on the tricks. If you want to see yourself in a better position, then you need to do the work because you can only get the result for what you've done. You can't expect the miracles to happen just by using the Desmos. Period. If you're still right here and watching my video, thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate your time. I can totally see your desire to see yourself in a higher places. And I wish you great luck for that. And I will see you soon. Bye bye.